Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. My name is Tifu Bryan. I'm a Northern Prairie Mantis Kung Fu teacher with 30 years experience. It is the 19th of January 2021. Hi guys, and let's get straight into my weekly quote. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. This is an old African proverb and it's a phenomenal African proverb. And let me just say it again. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So true. If we can overcome our own fears from within, then we can literally do anything. We can literally move mountains. When we have thoughts of despair, of doubt, of people may not even believe in you, but these are outside circumstances or outside enemies, so to speak. But if you are secure within yourself and you overcome these voices, then there is no enemy within. The enemy outside can do you no harm because you are forthright. You have the will to succeed and you're determined to succeed. You're not going to allow these voices within your head to hold you back, and it is these voices that hold us back and put doubt in our minds. And when you have doubt and you're unsure, you're not going to do anything. You're going to be frozen. Like in fear, if you're in a battle, that uncertainty, that fear, it freezes you. You can't think. So the enemy outside has affected your internal system, your thoughts within. Now you cannot fight. You cannot defend yourself, even as a martial artist. If fear is running through your bones, your veins, you won't be effective at all. So you have to talk to yourself, you have to be positive, you have to move yourself forward and believe in yourself. Even if no one believes in what you're doing or don't believe you can do it, you can succeed, you can do it. You have to have that internal, that inner belief, but you can do it. Because if you don't, you'll only beat up yourself for the rest of your life. If there's something you do want to achieve, go for it. Do your best. If you don't attain it, then at least you've done your best and you've grown. Remember, you've grown. If we're not growing, we're dying. Yeah, if we're not growing, we are dying. And if we stay in our own little box, our own little comfort zone, you're literally dying from the inside out, and that's no good. And you'll attract these same negative circumstances, and you don't want that. You see, when people are very successful, they attract other successful beings towards them. And it's an energy, isn't it? It's an energy, and you want to harness that energy and move yourself forward. So guys, keep your minds in that higher realm and move yourself positive. Even if the fear has almost paralyzed you. What's the other saying? Feel the fear, but do it anyway. You've got to do it for your spirit, for your soul to grow. You're here to grow. You're here to achieve. You're here to be successful in whatever you do. You're there to be successful, and you will be successful. So believe in yourself, and I'll have to read this quote again. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. I really love this quote, and with all the the madness that's going on around us. Well, there's a lot of voices going on in our heads now. There's a lot of fear moving through a lot of people's mind because they really don't know what to believe, because there's so much information out there and there's a lot of misinformation out there. But at the end of the day, you've got to look at this information, and not just from the mainstream media, who in my research have been complicit, but you have to look at other resources, because the mainstream will never give you the truth. So for me, I've had to look at other outlets than the BBC and so forth, because these media outlets, they're governed by 6 people. All the media outlets around the world, they're just governed by 6. That number 6 again. And unfortunately, they control all the media around the world, and they're controlling what's going. They want to control the narrative. They want to control what goes into our heads, what we believe in. And at the moment, they're trying to frighten you to death over something that has a 97.9% recovery. Going into government papers of the worstest pandemics, and out of this one, the coronavirus, this one comes last, right at the bottom. And this is according to the UK own government papers. And I know when people hear that, they go, well, but Brian, on the news, where you're getting programmed, you're being programmed to believe that the danger is higher than what it really is. To put it into perspective, let's go into a fact. And remember Africa, here, the biggest continent on the planet, with millions and millions of people. Well, they've only got 1% death, 1% deaths in Africa throughout the whole of this so-called pandemic. 1%. Remember, there is no social distancing in Africa. No masses in Africa. Remember, there's a lot of tribes out in Africa, and they only have 1% of death rates. And then they've got the cheek to say that the cultural groups over here are at more risk. That doesn't make sense at all. Then a couple of other headliners. 7,000 people go on marches in Amsterdam to obviously voice their concerns about the lockdown. They want these lockdowns to stop. Another headline here: 120,000 care workers, home care workers, refuse the jab. So they've obviously been doing their research, and no, it's not good. But at the same time, if people want to take the jab, go for it. Go for it. But we're all responsible to do our due diligence and to research on whether or not this jab's going to be good for you. You've got to be responsible for whatever goes into your body. And I know there's some businesses that are trying to apply pressure on their employees. They will be breaking the law, and they will be open to you could take them to court. And I know they're trying it, but you might have to be prepared to lose your job. But at the same time, you will live to fight another day. And at the end of the day, certain businesses you have to stand up to and make them accountable for their actions, because what they're doing, or what these guys are doing is illegal. Also, these stores that are talking about masses is another lie. You can go into these stores without a mask if you choose. If you feel fearful, then of course wear your mask. But this is an option. It's not a law, and they cannot force you. This is also a big lie. If they were to force you, they would be breaking the Equalities Act 2010. They'll be breaking the Human Rights Act 2000. Is it 2019? 2000. 1980. Oh gosh, I've forgotten it. Don't worry, the Human Rights Act. They'll also be breaking the Disability Discrimination Act 1995. So you can't just get rid of those laws, So they've got a problem here. They've got a problem. Now, another headliner: Italian businesses, restaurants. 30,000 of them have opened in Italy because they're tired of all these lockdowns. 30,000 restaurant owners have opened. Phenomenal. And I think these are the things that people will have to do to stop these lockdowns, because they will lock us down until we have nothing left. Remember, on something that has a 97% recovery rate. Ridiculous. Poland, hundreds of businesses are going to open, because again, in Poland, they're tired of all this. But again, the media isn't reporting on this. I wonder why. Something on Mr. Boris Johnson. You remember how he was going on like he was reluctant to lock us down and stuff like that? Well, evidence had come out that 3 weeks before the first national lockdown, he had invested 119 million in advertising against social distance, wearing a mask, all these things they were planning beforehand. Again, lying to the British public, and these guys have lied continuously throughout this whole period. I don't think he's going to last another year. Actually, I'm sure Boris Johnson will not last a year. You cannot lie to the British public. At minimum, that's malfeasance. That's a 10-year jail sentence. He may be the first serving prime minister to go to jail at this rate. At the highest of his crimes is treason. So, and the MPs that has brought in these acts against the British people. So it's going to be interesting. Now, another thing I've been hearing with Charlie Ward. Now, Charlie Ward's made some astonishing claims, and he says to have inside information from the White House. Now, I've got to admit, quite a lot of things have come true. Sometimes the timelines he's given has not been exact, but obviously you can't be, you can't let go your strategy of what you're going to do, and then your enemies are listening to you. So I understand that, but still, what he's saying is that there was a raid on the CIA headquarters in Virginia, and they recovered some serious information. They recovered $35 trillion dollars of embezzlement. They recovered papers of fraud, of murder, of identity fraud, assassinations, and it's very, very interesting. But I think from the information that I've been seeing lately of the CIA and FBI, I don't think Trump is going to allow them to continue. I think that that's going to get broken up or dissolved. There's too much corruption in these agencies. But you're going to have to do your own research to clarify that. And I'm not even too sure. I mean, this is coming from Charlie Ward, but like I said, a lot of his stuff has been on point, and he seems to be getting information direct. So check him out. Check out Charlie Ward, man. Check him out. Now, he's also said, which is amazing, that a couple of governments have stepped down, which is the Dutch, Kuwait, Germany, Italy, Russian, Holland, and Estonia. Now, there is a country reporting on it. The only country that seems to be reporting on it is Denmark, that's actually saying this. So maybe you can do your research in that and find out for yourselves. I've obviously not heard of this, but I don't know. It's interesting, so we'll see. But governments are supposed to step down under Nasara Jassara. Under Nasara Jassara, do your own research. Governments are supposed to step down and bring in the reset, because you've been hearing a lot about the reset, but you've got the bad one from the deep state, and then you've got the Donald Trump one, which is going to be backed by gold. So that would be towards Nasara Jassara if these governments have stepped down. And what Charlie Ward also said is that the UK government will be the last, which is a bit disappointing, will be the last to step down. So this is going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. And talking on Donald Trump, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, I still don't believe he's given up. I don't think he's given up at all. I know it looks bleak, it looks bad, and people are going to call me mad. And I did see his speech, but he never conceded. Those words never came out of his mouth. He never conceded. And I think with Donald Trump is that he's not a person that gives up so easily. This is my take on because there's so much deception. There's so much. The media's not covering. They're not covering anything that's going on in the background. Nothing. They've not covered the declassification of top secret reports on the Clintons, the Bidens, the Obama. Jeez, it is confirmed that he was born in Kenya, so really he should be arrested for identity fraud. But all these things are not being. This information has been subdued. It's been held down by the media because they're complicit. So we know that things are not being reported. So it's gonna be interesting. But in this inauguration tomorrow, which will be tomorrow now, I think my take on it is going to be that he's going to hand over power, or it's already been said that he's handed over power to the military. So if he's handed over power to the military, I think his double talking words in saying that he's going to hand over power, he's not saying, because he never mentioned the word Biden. I think he means, and this is my thoughts on it, yeah. I think he means he's handing over power to the military to clean up the rest of these swamp creatures, these deep state agents, and I think there'll be more arrests. I think a lot of things are going to be revealed tomorrow. I think there's 25,000 troops in DC. maybe more, and it's looking like Fort Knox, but I think that's to keep people in than to keep people out. So it's going to be interesting. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but um, God, I just pray for America, because obviously if Biden wants to get in, he'll be handing over the keys to the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, and obviously the Chinese people. This has got nothing to do with the Chinese people. This is about the Communist Party. They've always wanted to take control of America. Trump didn't allow it, but if he goes and it goes to Biden, it's over. But I don't think that's going to happen at all. At all. I really don't. Call me crazy. I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see it. I can't see it. There's going to be a twist in the tail. There's deception at play here. There's wordplay. There's a lot of wordplay going on. We're not really going to know until after the event. But it's also said that there's going to be a broadcast message, and that all the broadcast stations have been asked to broadcast it, not just in America, but around the world. And if they don't, they will lose their license. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting. We could only guess now. But I don't think he's going to hand over power to Biden. No, he's not going to hand over power to Biden. I think he's handing over power to the military, which means he's governing shit, because you've got to remember there was foreign interference in the election. For people that have been following this closely and are awake, no, there was a foreign interference. That alone automatically gives Trump the presidency. But I do believe he will be in for another 4 years, and then the Sajasar will come in. All these governments will step down, and re-elections, and there will be re-elections of all the world governments. This is what I believe will happen, but we'll have to wait and see. Very interesting times. We've been told to get out our popcorn and watch the show, so let's see what happens. But it is important. Whatever happens in America will affect the rest of the world. So let's see what happens. Let me read this quote one more time. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. I love this African proverb. I absolutely love it. Let's see what happens tomorrow, guys. And hey, but anyway, guys, on that note, take care and stay blessed.